Today's interview is with Angelo De Leon, a real good friend of mine. We met over 20 years ago. He actually helped and studied the Bible with me and helped me on my spiritual journey. So we were roommates for a while and just again have a lot of good memories together. Now we get to raise our kids during the same time. Hope you enjoy the interview. So I'm here with Angelo, my good buddy. We met a long time ago. My Dominican friend from 170th and Grand Concourse, now living in the Bay Plaza Co-op City area. So I got Angelo on. I just told him, I said, you're my cool dad friend. Angelo is just a cool guy. Like, and you don't even try to be like baseball coach, play with your son, baseball. You guys all look good. And I think what's cool now, we're just talking like you pretty much met your wife at the same age that your daughter is right now. So your kids are around my kids' age. So yeah, just help us out. Just share some good news, maybe some struggles is being a cool dad and still living in the Bronx and trying to deal with the same things that you did as an adolescent and now trying to teach that to your amazing children.
Sure. Well, thank you for having me, James, my wife friend. Uh, friend. Since we're going there, basically, on the cool end, I think lessons that I've learned from my youth, my upbringing, and I was always very involved in sports. Not because my parents were involved with me in that way. It was just, kids playing with kids. My parents were both factory workers, didn't really have the resource nor the time to dedicate to us. So growing up, I know that as a parent, that's something that I wanted to change and be more involved in my kids' life in that regards. Since you mentioned sports has always been has always played a big role in me being part of their circle, their inner circle. Sports gives you the ability as a dad to also become a mentor and a coach, and that works really well. So, starting with baseball for both my daughter, who's now a teenager, unbelievable. I'm actually talking about having a teenager, crazy.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll find myself walking with her. She's already taller than her mother.
Yeah.
I'm afraid they're gonna think I'm a sugar daddy or something because it's crazy to think about it. But anyhow, so getting her involved into sports, being part of that experience, not just with them, but with the neighborhood and the other relationship that you're able to build with the kids and the parents. So we've done baseball for that. We've done tennis as well, just learning myself and then teaching it to them. We will go on bicycle routes as well in the area. As they got older, we will go in longer distance. We will do the 10 miles, mainly off road. So those are all memories that they're building and that we're connecting by doing those activities. So I think that really helps to cement that relationship because, apart from being cool, obviously there has to be a fine balance. You talk about struggles, right? So I think sometimes kids, because of media and this influence, where oftentimes TV portrays dads are being morons or idiots or incapable of anything or beneath kids' intelligence. Sometimes that and even their friends from school, right, depending on what their background is, they get influenced by these people. And so, one of the things that I always I'm big on is respect. I respect you. I speak to you in a respectful tone, with a respectful body language, and the expectation is the same. So oftentimes, every so often, I would have to kind of do a self-assessment or ask them to do a self-assessment in the way that they're speaking to me, the way that they're responding at time, and really, being able to communicate to them how those words are hurtful to me, that I don't appreciate those words. So the struggle in communication where they get a little too familiar with me and they sometimes the lines are blurted, right? Where they're not, I have to remind them, I'm not your boy from the street.
Yeah.
I'm your father and I expect for you to communicate with me with a certain way. So there's a time to be friends and hanging out, but there's also time for you to talk to me like I'm your parent. and I have that expectation. So reminding them of those things every so often, not in a authoritative sort of way, coming down on them and my way or the highway, but just, we're people. And my job as a father, and I understand this, is to teach. And you can't stop teaching. I can't allow my personal feelings, or me feeling disrespected to take it personal, and then cause injury on them because I get irritated by it. No, I have to continue to teach.
Yeah.
So those are some of the struggles. Obviously, like every parent, I've struggled with Common Core, right? I think that has, unfortunately, I've seen the worst come out of me as a result of Common Core, and learning and being patient, and being tested in the process of trying to teach them maybe something other than how they're being taught. But even myself having to relearn the way that, you know, they're being taught in school right now. And so for me is understanding, and really being honest with myself when I'm frustrated, and I might want to smack them around a little bit. God knows I've had the thoughts one too many times, but
Mhm.
really having an honest conversation with myself about that, you know, teaching them, it's a two-way street, and understanding that they are in my life, not just so that I can teach them, but I myself, I feel like it's taught me so much about patience,
Yeah.
about loving, about not allowing my personal emotions to get on the way and cloud my judgment. So I think the result is it's made me into a better person as a result of some of the struggles and the challenge that we've faced together. So at the end of the day, struggles, I I would look at them as opportunities for
Yeah.
personal growth, as opposed to a bad thing necessarily.
Yeah, that's awesome. Again, there's so much that you can share. Like, I appreciate you as a person too. Like, being an educator in the Bronx, like you and me, we went to school in the Bronx, and sometimes you don't get the best education. Even thinking of like so many of the parents that I deal with, they're still around the Grand Concourse over there, like learning English as a second language, and you know, it is a struggle with this whole Common Core and everything that's in the school. And you make the effort. You've reached out to my wife, you reached out to different people, like, okay, how can I learn these different things? Because as cool as you are, like every dad, you're not too cool for school to be like, oh, I don't need help with this. Like, it's crazy to see our kids growing up and like, wait a minute, this is my wife, or this is my little daughter that's growing up. And again, I think you're doing an amazing job of doing that. And again, I think I want people who are like listening to know that even in the Bronx, they can go play tennis, they can go play baseball and be on these leagues. This is not just like for Upper Westchester or whatever. Like, inner city, there's plenty of things to do. And again, you're an amazing guy. I appreciate it. Again, hopefully people can just ask some more questions and learn some more. So thank you, sir, for hanging out. Me and Junior were roommates in the United Nations, right? I can't even remember. I got to get all the other guys on the phone and talk about the differences.
Rodney and Joe.
We could still be friends. Again, no matter what culture we come from. We're just learning this together to raise our kids to be the best that they can be. Thank you, sir. Talk to you soon.
All right, love you.